In Lesson 4, we're going to learn about input masks. In the last lesson, we set up a format for my phone number field. But I showed you how when you went to actually type in some data, the format kind of disappears and you just see the raw data. Well, there's something called an input mask that helps you enter in the data in the right format. It kind of frames the data for you. So let's get rid of this format. Yes, it is possible to have both a format and an input mask, but I find that confusing for most users. So let's click right here where it says input mask. And over here, you see a little builder button. It's got a dot, dot, dot on it. Go ahead and click on that. You'll have to save the table first. That's okay. Hit yes. And here you can see the input mask wizard. Now there's a bunch of different input masks already set up for you. There's phone number, social security number. The phone number format's a little bit different than mine. Their area code is inside of parentheses. That's okay. Zip code, extension, password, sometimes. Let's go ahead and just pick phone number. Now if you want to test it out, you can click down here and type in a sample phone number. 555-444-3333. Hit next if you want to. Now, this is the actual input mask itself. Those are the characters that need to go into the input mask property, but don't worry about them right now. The difference between nines and zeros, the exclamation point, don't worry about that at this point. You can create your own custom input masks. We'll talk about it in the expert series. For now, just let the input mask build it for you. The placeholder character is what do you want to see where the cursor goes, where the user's typing information in. I'll leave it as the underscore. Hit next. Now, how do you want to store the data in the table? With the symbols or without it? I like to do it without it. There's no reason to store those symbols in the table. Just store the raw data and display it with the symbols. Hit next. And then hit finish. And there you can see your custom input mask. Now, it's a little bit weird looking at all those strange characters, but trust me, the end result works good. Save your table and flip back over to Datasheet View. Notice the phone numbers. If I try to click on one to edit it, notice the characters still stay there, and it kind of frames the data for me. I can click in here and make a change, and everything stays nice. If I come down here to a new blank record, you can see I've got the parentheses and the underscores. Everything looks wonderful. If I type in some data that's not right, and then press Tab or Enter, I get a warning message. It says the value you entered isn't appropriate for the input mask, which basically tells the user, hey, you have to format your data properly. All right, so come in here, change it, and then you can save the phone number. So it frames the data nicely for you. Date time fields can also have input masks. Here you can see a list of them. You can use input masks or formats when you're dealing with dates and times. The benefit is an input mask will always be there to frame the data for you. If you use a custom format, the way that you have to type the data in might not necessarily match the data in the field. If you use an input mask, you're always guaranteed that exact format. When in doubt, if possible, I like to use an input mask. For now, I'm just going to hit cancel. Now, numbers and currency values can also have input masks. But if I click on the builder button, you can see the input mask wizard only works with text and date field types. Basically, if you're going to use an input mask for numbers and currency, you have to create your own custom input mask. Now, click here and hit F1 again. The help system comes up. I'll pick the text box input mask property. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see all the different characters that can be used in input masks. There are a bunch of them. There's 0, 9, which can be either a digit, entry required, entry not required, a digit or a space, a letter. There's lots of different ones. We'll talk more about these in the expert classes. I just wanted you to see all the different options that are available. So that's what an input mask does. If you see one of the input masks in the wizard that matches your data type, go ahead and use it. If not, again, we'll talk about custom input masks in the expert classes.